to my channel, Tomahawk Fab Works. Now, as I said, I'm going to get the car back. I'm going to start working on it. And today, I'm going to try and get the gas tank out. Well, not try, it's got to happen. Or else, I'm not going to get a fuel sensor in it. So, without further ado, let's get underneath it and see what's going on.
So I'm underneath now, and I just took off the breather hose at the filler cap there and was checking out whether or not I might have to take the balance panel off, and I don't think I'm going to because there's a support back here. So I'll be able to hopefully wrestle it out without having to do any of that. This is probably the sending unit wire here, right here. So we got a couple of straps underneath here with hooks built into the body, a couple of bolts right there, and then back here I looked. I'm gonna get the camera light going. All right, there we go. Then we got two of these, one on either side. I mean, they're looking bad. Hope I don't have to cut these straps that just suck all around. So I don't know if I can get those going or not. So I'm gonna get some tools on it and see what happens. Okay, so this is what's going on. There's two long bolts holding this stuff together. This side right here is coming out. This side would not. The U-nut rusted and broke on the top and just spinning around. So I had to cut the bolt, and so that's what's going on there. And I got this holding the tank in right now. So I'm gonna get the jack and a piece of wood. I got this nut out and this nut out. Oh, I didn't even tape it. It wasn't even going. Huh. Okay, so this is what's going on so far. I got one off. This bolt wasn't coming because the U-nut on top was broke and it was just spinning around. So I had to cut the bolt. So it's hanging by one strap now. And this one's turning. So I'll be able to get that one out without any difficulty. And then I'll have to go up with the air tool again and cut that U-nut out of there. Fun stuff. So, time to get the jack and a piece of wood to support it and see if we can drop it out. Okay, so I gotta cut the other side. There's two U-nuts for the big long bolts, and I thought they were built like this, where it's stamped and this part right here is just formed with a thread in it, and it's not. I had my hand up there and you can feel a nut on top of this that back in the 70s they actually welded a nut onto the U-nut. So I thought, okay, I'll put a wrench on top of that and zip it out of there with the impact, and that'll be the end of it. Now that shit ain't happening. That's pretty rusty up there. It ain't going. So I'm gonna cut that too. God, there must be 10 gallons of gas in there. So I got like a little air hose here, and this device right here is from my grandpa, and I got that inside the gas tank with a hose. I'm using air pressure to get the gas out of the tank a couple of gallons at a time, and just got duct tape wrapped around the end. That's where I'm at right now. I'm just getting the gas out. Okay, we got the gas out. Let's see if we can get the sending unit out. Okay, after getting the tank out and isolating the wires and putting at least a new sending unit hooked up on it and turning the key on, all this stuff, I'm not getting a reaction out of the fuel gauge. Which is pegged over the way to full. And so done some research, looked at other YouTube videos, and usually when there's a problem with a fuel gauge in an old classic car like this, it's usually the gauge is all the way to the empty and it's not registering anything. And so I've got the battery disconnected, there's no juice going to nothing. It's, you know, and it's always been stuck to full for like a couple years, and I can't get it to move any other way. So my only recourse is to take the dash apart and get the instrument cluster out and see if I can get a reaction with it somehow that way. So that's the next step here, is to like take this all apart and get this instrument cluster out and hopefully not damage too much stuff along the way. Many hours later, I took the dash out so I could get the fuel gauge out, and I think I may have found the problem. I put some juice on the fuel gauge, 3 volts. I don't know what it's supposed to take, if it's supposed to take 12 or not, but I'm gonna put 4.5 on it. It was working, kinda. So I don't know how much voltage these things are taking in the circuit. So I'm gonna try that in a second here. So I got, yeah, see. So that was 4.5 volts right there. Let me reverse it. And it's moving back the other way. There it goes. Okay. So at least I know the gas gauge works. But that's not what I found. On the back of the instrument cluster, you got this sort of plastic copper strips, sandwich laminated here, and if you look right here, it's either a burn spot or a wear spot right there. And I held this up to the light and you can see light through it. Yeah, you can see, I mean, it's barely making a connection at all. So that's bad. Okay, I want to make a correction. I was looking at this closer. So that circuit is broke, but that's just for the lamp. I looked closer and you can see a pathway of copper strip going all the way around here, all the way around here, and let's see, goes up to this second tab from the end, comes down. So there's a circuit there, and this one is all together. So the only thing that's jacked up is the temperature light. But I got a temperature gauge in there, so I really don't worry about that. But I'll just I'll insulate the back of that I'll put some tape around that, some electrical tape, and that'll insulate it at least. So I think we're good there. If you watched the video, thanks for stopping by. I'll be moving forward, of course, with this. I'm not going to just like leave it, but please like, subscribe, and share, and take it easy.